our actual return over that holding period wound up being less than 5%. And what was always confusing is that on the marketing papers, or in the final report that I got, it said, well, the IRR, okay, which stands for internal rate of return, was 9%. But that internal rate of return doesn't mean anything, because that's like the gross return. The net return is what you get. It's almost the same kind of thing as what we were talking about here a couple weeks ago, in terms of how the annuity people kind of manipulate the numbers to make it seem like you're getting a better return when you're really not. Because in the annuity case, they count the original investment coming back to you as part of your quote unquote return. And at the end of the day, that's not really your return when you're getting your own money back. The reality is that it's kind of the same thing in the hedge fund world, except I guess it's slightly different, where they talk about the IRR, the internal rate of return. But the internal rate of return doesn't mean anything to you, because you're not internal, you're external. They're the one that's going to get the net return, and ultimately that's the piece that ultimately matters. And at the end of the day, much like my personal experience, nearly matched exactly what the Wall Street Journal research had done, because in fact the fees did in fact consume half of the return, which means that you're not getting nearly what you thought. So if you have a hedge fund or hedge fund like type of investment in your portfolio, be very careful. It may be typically described as an alternative investment. Those have become, that category of investments has become all the rage when people say, oh, you need to have an alternative part of your portfolio. At the end of the day, it might not be adding a whole heck of a lot. Talking about a couple of the investments out there that you probably want to be very careful with in your portfolio.